disgusting. And I'm concerned. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon B, and I'm so happy to have you here. I love a good thrifted and backlist books, and also love a good cozy craft. It is Friday, I'm ready for the weekend. I'm having a bit of an unhinged, chaotic time this week, and even the past couple of months. And I just really want like a sense of like fun, chaotic reading. I just want some like comic relief, but something like so shockingly startling, crazy. Like I'm so invested in what I'm reading in, or I'm so shocked, or something so like scandalous. Like I want like that kind of vibe when I'm reading this weekend. I looked up some lists about some unhinged books, and there were two of these that I'm about to show you that kept coming up. First one is Bunny by Mona Awad. This is an anticipated read for me. I've wanted to read it for so long, and I finally hauled it last year. Excited to read it. I don't know if it's like as shocking as I think it will be. I know it's some type of like dark academia book, but it was on a lot of lists as like something kind of crazy. And then this one was literally on every list. This is Big Swiss by Jen Beagin. I've wanted to read this for years, so I'm excited that I was able to find a thrifted copy, and I will be diving in. I don't really know what this is about, so I think I could either be very happily surprised or very, very disappointed. And then the last one, I kind of wanted like a fun, juicy thriller. So I'm going to be reading my first Tarryn Fisher, which is The Wives. And so I believe this is like a sister-wife situation. Like each wife gets one day of the week and that's it, and you don't ask questions. And then some crazy, chaotic things happen. This will be my fun, unhinged reading for the weekend. Crafting wise, I'm still working on some diamond art bookmarks. I'm still working on my little book nook that I need to put together. I'm about to go get ready for a cooking class that we were taking tonight, so that will be a very fun start to the weekend. Sat down to do my nails. I have not been doing my nails much because I keep just picking it off out of anxiousness, but I really want to do my nails today, so I'm gonna do this color. But I figured while I was sitting down I would update you on The Wives by Tarryn Fisher. I am over the halfway point. I'm on chapter 19. I'm having so much fun with this book. It's definitely like a fun Saturday morning book. I just was sitting reading for so long, and then I cleaned the whole house and was listening to, and the audiobook is fine too, is like scandalous. This book is about wives, multiple wives. So their husband, Seth, is like a polygamist, and he has an initial wife, and originally we meet them as Monday and Tuesday. So those are like the days he sees the wives, and then our main character that we're following, she's known as Thursday. And I don't know if I'm a bad reader, but I don't think we actually know her name. I think we're just knowing her as Thursday, and she is like going through all of these emotions of being okay with sharing her husband and then being not okay with sharing her husband, and she's finding little clues about all the other wives. And Seth apparently told them like, you can't like look each other up, you shouldn't know anything about each other. So she's trying very hard to abide by that rule, but as you can expect, there is a lot of chaos. It's just interesting. It is an interesting topic. It talks about like Utah polygamy. I know like nothing about this way of life, obviously, so it's just really interesting to read it because I do know that it exists. I mean, there literally was that show on TLC when I was growing up. I think it was called Sister Wives. So I'm definitely picturing that a lot when I'm reading this. I think Tarryn Fisher's writing is so witty. There is literally a part right in the beginning, like first 2 pages, and I was like laughing. I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe she said that. There's just like those lines you read and you're like, Did you just say that? Like, it's so funny and like out of pocket and witty. I am enjoying it, and I love the perspective of Thursday, because I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if when I read it, if like I'm gonna wish I was in the perspective of other wives and have it switch perspectives of like, because that would be really interesting. And that's how I thought the book originally would be, is like each chapter is from a different perspective of a different wife. I am loving it, and I will check in again when I finish it. So I'm definitely gonna listen to it while I do my nails. I have just been so deeply enjoying sitting over here and reading. I did finish, as you probably saw, my bookmark that's currently in Bunny. So cute. I think doing the diamond art bookmarks are just so fun because they're like great little projects to do, and like you feel accomplished after you complete one. I did finish The Wives this morning. Also this morning I did a bunch of shopping, and I made such delicious French toast. It was just so nice because I had a full weekend this weekend, so like to get to wake up early on Sunday and run to the grocery store and make breakfast was just like so nice, and I loved it. The Wives totally hits the chaotic unhinged brief. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 just because the ending ended up being so rushed, and I really wished that she fleshed out the ending more, because I still think there was a lot of shock value for her to go into more depth in the end and explain better. I ultimately just felt like I was left wanting another 50 pages to just explain the craziness that was happening, and it really like plays with your mind because you do not know who to trust. You don't even know if you could trust the narrator. You don't know if you could trust the people around her. I thought this was like an interesting grippy thriller. I thought it was pretty like different from thrillers that I've read. We're following our main character as she kind of goes and spirals and does the most unhinged actions and makes the most chaotic decisions. Chaotic psychological thriller. It's very psychological. I will say a big trigger warning in this book, and it's talked about a lot, is miscarriages. So if that's something that you try really hard to stay away from in your books, I would definitely advise you to not read them. And it's not like just mentioned once or twice, like it's mentioned a few times throughout this book. I would read more from Tarryn Fisher. I think she just came out with one. It's called like An Honest Lie, and it sounds really good. It sounds like a good vacation-y book, so I might bring that on my honeymoon in a couple weeks. 50 pages through Bunny. I'm actually reading with a reading sprint from Chloe Reads Books. I just subscribed to her, and a really fun sprint, and I'm really enjoying it. And then Gabby reads sprints, and a lot of times I can never make her reading sprints, so it's really fun for me today that I'm home and I can actually be live with one of her reading sprints and watch them. I'm on chapter 7, and this is the first book in a long time where like I looked at the page count right after I started it. Like I read chapter 1 and then I looked at the page count because I was like, how long is this? And then I saw it was only 305 pages, and I was like disappointed because I just think I'm really going to enjoy this. I think this is my perfect level of weirdness that I love in books. I've never read Mona Awad before, so this is fun to get to experience her writing. There's a lot of characters and there's a lot of description so far. So we're following our main character Samantha, and there's these girls known as the Bunnies who are kind of like the mean girls, but they seem kind of like unhinged and crazy. They're in like one of her writing workshop classes, and I guess they haven't gotten along in the past, and the Bunnies invite Samantha to join their like club or smut salon, as we learned that it's called. I find Mona Awad's writing so far like really intriguing, and I love books that take place at colleges or like on a college campus. So if you know any books like that you think I would like, let me know, because that's a trope that like I really enjoy. There's university on the back, but for some reason I kept thinking that this was in a high school, and I kept putting it off because I thought it was a high school book and more YA, but it's definitely an adult book. Okay, I just got to part 2 of this book, and I'm not gonna DNF it because I want to understand, but this is going in a very different direction than I thought it was going to, and I truthfully was not expecting this at all. This is disgusting. I don't know what's going on. This is like a fever dream. It's freaky, it's gross, but I need to keep reading it. Like, I can't stop. So, you know, we're going into Samantha being in the world of the bunnies, and she is in the smut salon and entering into their workshop. And I don't really want to spoil anything because I think I was so shocked. But I will tell you, I feel like in reviews I watched of this book over the past couple of years, I'd never understood how disgusting this is. I genuinely feel nauseous right now, and I think it's so interesting that a book could do that to me, but I'm definitely hitting a fean points where I'm like, should I just stop reading this? I mean, it literally says on the back, monstrous experiments, and the edges of reality begin to blur. I mean, that's exactly what's happening. But I know this book is broken into parts, so I'm now on part 2, which is, I'm almost halfway through, and I mean, I am just still sitting here really enjoying reading for the day. I was going to start crafting and listen to this, but I think the problem with listening to this is I'm gonna hear things and then just be like, is that what I just heard? Is that what's really happening? Because there's just things that make no sense. They're so confusing and gross and shocking. I think Mona Awad like had to have taken something to write this book, because there's no way that like this was soberly written. I don't know if I can take on big Swiss after this. I just got home from a day of work and it's so nice outside. I think we are going to try to do a nice walk with the puppers and get outside while it's nice, because I don't think the rest of the week is supposed to be super nice. That being said, the past few vlogs I have talked about how I work like 6 days a week, and I was home all weekend, and then I alluded to the fact that like I have some chaotic things going on in my life, and I figure if you made it this far into the vlog, you most likely have watched my other videos where I talk about some career things that go on, and I've definitely always struggled with my career in tax accounting, and this year is absolutely no different. So I did unfortunately resign from my position. However, they very quickly were like, you can't resign because we need you to finish tax season with us. So pretty much they took away my overtime, so I'm working like an actual 9 to 5 for the next couple of weeks to help them get through. And then I do kind of have somewhat of a work situation figured out for after that, but I'll chat about that in a couple weeks. So much has been going on with me in relation to how overwhelmed and stressed I was the past couple of months, honestly, with this new job. I did resign, and I resigned 100% due to just my mental health, and I was just kind of getting worried about things, and I was just experiencing things that I have not experienced before, and I'm almost 30, and it was just, you know, new things that were coming up with me that were not fun, and I just really wanted to prioritize taking care of myself and always making sure that I am okay, as I think everybody should. It's scary to be open, especially with a bunch of businessmen, of saying like, hey, mental health's not doing too hot, I'm kind of worried for my well-being right now. I can like restore your faith in humanity. I literally cried in front of grown men, businessmen, successful men, and I was met with like such compassion and understanding about my situation. This year's busy season I just could not get through, so I am getting through it, but on reduced terms, and then I will be leaving my job. Couldn't handle it as well as I usually do, so that's okay. For the time being, I feel like I'm still processing things and figuring things out, so I'm just like this vlog is themed, I'm just, you know, feeling a little chaotic over here. So I just wanted to give a quick career update. Okay, so I finished Bunny last night. I cannot, unfortunately, give this book a star rating because I don't know how to rate this book. I don't know if I can rate it based off just being confused and thinking it's like a crazy concept of following Samantha as she's going through like the world with the bunnies, and this like metaphor of a world that they create is very, very confusing and disorienting. I like books that kind of draw you in, and the more you read, the more and more chaotic and crazy and gross this book gets. But I think at some points it was just too many metaphors and it was really confusing, like some of the rituals they do and things. I was like, is this actually happening or is it all fake? And I was doing some research, obviously, as I do after I finished it, and it pretty much was saying like everything's a metaphor, but it's very confusing because at points you fully feel like you're reading like a fantasy or like a sci-fi book, and it takes a lot of like mental energy to really picture everything that's going on because it is just so crazy. But I weirdly did enjoy Mona Awad's writing. I just wish she wasn't writing about bunnies, and I don't think I can look at a bunny the same anymore, unfortunately. So I'm not going to rate this, and I'm definitely going to keep it, and I do think I will reread it at some point because I think it needs like a reread to like fully understand what the heck was going on. This was very different than I wanted it to be, and I do like the overall concept of like the bunnies and the clique. And now about to talk about Big Swiss, I'm worried that chaotic reading is really just turning into reading very sexual stories about women. Because like The Wives was very much a sexual crazy thriller about a man with multiple wives, and then Bunny was just, you know, these girls are doing these crazy things and like I don't even understand what they're doing. And I'm a little nervous that my theme for the past few days of reading is coming to like bite me in the butt because I started Big Swiss. This is weird. Also, I got to page 66. I'm on chapter 4, so I just read the first few chapters last night because I really wanted to dive in because I've heard great things about this book, but I've never actually heard what this book is about. So Big Swiss is following Greta, which I will say I do enjoy Greta's point of view on things, and I like how she's written. However, like there was just a whole part that went into her backstory that kind of felt really long and like convoluted. And I was like, can we just get back to the main story? So I'm enjoying the main story. So the main story is Greta is a medical records like transcriber. So she's transcribing the recordings from a sex therapist's sessions. So she's like listening to all the advice and conversations he's having with people about their sex lives. So that's like not what I was expecting, first of all. And I should have read the inside flap, but pretty much right away early on there is a patient, and Greta starts calling her Big Swiss because she is from Switzerland, and Greta gets really engrossed into her story. So that's where I'm at so far. I can already sense, I'm only 66 pages in, and I can sense this is going to be a very, very, very weird one, and I'm concerned. Tonight I would love to dive into Big Swiss. I am very intrigued by it, and I want to know like what happens to Greta and what the heck does Greta do. I feel some very unhinged decisions possibly coming from her. From a very frazzling day of work. It was quite intense towards the end of the day, unfortunately. But crafting update, so pretty much I have this side of my book nook done, and then this will kind of slide into it and be the base as well as this part. but these parts were like drying, so I couldn't actually put everything together. So once I put those pieces in, then I get to start like the other side of the wall, and then I kind of just do that and then it's like done. So I'm actually pretty far. I think it's like 25 pages of instructions and I'm already at like page like 18 or something. I'll probably end up finishing, hopefully, my book nook in the next vlog. But I was having such a fun time doing this. Like, just how cute is this? It is just adorable. I love these things. They're just so cute. So I did listen and read a lot of Big Swiss last night and I did finish it. This was such an interesting string of books that I have read. This book follows Greta, like almost like mystified by this one woman, Big Swiss, and she ends up trying to like pursue a relationship with Big Swiss very early on in the book. So we're following like Big Swiss and Greta's relationship and her trying to hide the fact that she knows everything that Big Swiss is saying in these sessions and navigating that. And Big Swiss is married, so a lot of dynamics going on, some different stories. We're learning a lot about Greta and her past, and then also about Big Swiss and her past. I actually really did enjoy, I think I said in the last clip too, like I really did enjoy Greta's perspective, and I liked just how she saw things and her character and how her character was written. Also, I did listen to a decent amount of the audiobook and I did love the narration of the audiobook. I thought the audiobook was really good, especially because you're reading the transcripts, and I found when I actually listened to the transcripts, I actually enjoyed it a lot more. And then you're also hearing like Greta's interjections as she's trying to transcribe, and it was just kind of fun. It's a full cast audiobook, so I think the audiobook is really good. I don't know if this was the kind of crazy shocking I was going for, but this book is very crazy and shocking. I think originally when I was like, I want shocking and thrilling books, like I was thinking of like Annihilation, like creepy, a little sci-fi, some fantasy. I don't think I was thinking like how sexual all of these books ended up being. Didn't mean to read a bunch of like sex-filled novels. Like that was not my intention at all, but that is just what this turned out to be. I had to give this a rating. I think I would give it like a 3.75. I don't think I would recommend this book as like my favorite book. It's funny because a coworker a couple years ago at one of my old jobs like recommended this book to me, and after reading it I'm like, I don't think you would recommend your coworker this book. But I did like Jen Beagin's writing, and I think I would read other things by her. But I thought it was just an interesting story. Like, it was definitely like a unique story. Very bizarre, very weird. And I don't know if I understood the whole bee metaphor by the end. I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't think I totally understood the metaphor throughout the book of the bees, because there's like bees all over and bees are mentioned. So I'm gonna have to look up. I'm ready to get back to my normal programming of my nice straightforward thrillers and some sci-fi, because I think I need a break from the explicitness after reading these. But let me know if you read any of these, what you thought of them. I feel like my brain is still processing these books because they were just... Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!